So what we have done so far is we have seen the parts of a real PC and we have assembled a PC from those parts. Now we have the hardware ready, but as we have seen, we are getting an error, disk failure. So it is looking for a disk and it is not getting the disk. We have plugged in the disk as well, still we are getting boot disk failure. So right now the situation is we have every hardware component, but we need a disk which is bootable. So we're gonna see some fundamentals around what is boot, what we mean by BIOS. BIOS is the inbuilt software or firmware which is there in the motherboard, which does very minimal job just to boot the operating system. So right now we don't have an operating system inside the disk we plugged in. Remember we plugged in the Toshiba 1 TB hard drive? That is empty. That's our problem. So what we need to fill it up with? Operating system. So operating system is a software which is going to drive the entire hardware. So that is going to abstract us from the complexity of the hardware. Let's come back to the slides. So we have seen each devices in real and we have done the PC assembling. So this particular demo is over. Okay, a little bit information about the BIOS, basic input and output. So BIOS is a piece of software, like I mentioned, which is inbuilt in the motherboard. So motherboard has another chip inside, silicon chip, which has a bit of software called BIOS. It is also called firmware. Firmware is the name of software which is inbuilt into the devices. Most of the things when we buy have a software inbuilt called firmware. BIOS does primarily one thing: loading the operating system. So that is the single most important job of BIOS. Along with that, you can have some basic configuration of the hardware itself. So there are some basic configurations like which hard disk to be used to load the operating system. For example, if you have more than one hard disk, like say 3 hard disks and a CD drive or a floppy drive, which device you need to use to boot. So you can boot from all the different devices. We will see the BIOS of the motherboard, which we have installed. We will see different options and we will explain what are the different options of the BIOS. So once the operating system is installed, it will behave like a master of all the hardware. So like I mentioned, BIOS is very basic. It cannot even add 1 + 1 = 2. So it doesn't have any functionality built in, pretty much. And it doesn't know how to handle the hardware as well. Only when you install the operating system and the drivers, it will be able to handle the hardware.
Question.
Yes.
Is this BIOS same for all operating system?
No. So the BIOS comes with the motherboard, and it has no direct relationship with the operating system. But there is a good chance that if you purchase the same motherboard, you will get the same BIOS. But the BIOS has different versions, and it's just like any other software. It has updates, it has different versions. But there is a chance that if you buy exact same version of the motherboard, you will get the exact same version of BIOS. For example, this camera which is recording this training right now has a firmware in it. It has its own versions, everything. There is no direct relationship between BIOS version and operating system. They are completely independent, as long as the BIOS loads the operating system. Does that answer your question? All right, yeah.